On Monday morning, Daniel was preparing for an important job interview. He looked at himself in the mirror and took a deep breath. His friend Emma had always believed in him. Daniel often said, "I really admire Emma." He admired Emma's confidence. He admired the way Emma stayed calm in difficult situations. In fact, Daniel didn't just like Emma, he truly admired her. The night before the interview, Emma gave Daniel some advice. "Let me give you some advice," Emma said. Daniel listened carefully. Emma's advice was simple. Be calm. Be honest. Be confident. Daniel knew something interesting about the word advice. Advice is a noun, but advise is a verb. So Emma didn't just give advice, she advised Daniel to stay relaxed during the interview. Emma also said something else. "This job could help you advance in your career." Daniel repeated the idea in his mind. This job could help him advance professionally. It could help him advance in his future plans. So Emma gave him advice, and she also encouraged him to advance in his career. The next morning, Daniel arrived at the company building. At the reception desk, a woman spoke loudly. She announced something to everyone in the room. "Good morning, everyone," she announced. Daniel heard the announcement clearly. She announced that the interviews would begin in 10 minutes. So the receptionist made an announcement, and she announced it politely and clearly. While Daniel was waiting, he began to feel nervous. He tried to anticipate the questions. He started thinking ahead. He anticipated difficult questions. Maybe they would ask about his experience. Maybe they would ask about his skills. The more he thought about it, the more he tried to anticipate what might happen. He wasn't predicting the future exactly, but he was trying to anticipate the interview. Then another thought came to his mind. He checked his wallet. Daniel smiled with relief, because he knew something important. He could afford the train ticket home. He could afford lunch if the interview finished late. In fact, Daniel realized something else. He could finally afford to take a small break after months of hard work. So yes, he could afford the ticket. He could afford lunch. And maybe soon, he could afford more. Suddenly, Daniel heard two candidates talking nearby. They were having a serious discussion. Actually, it was more than a discussion. They were starting to argue. One candidate said, "This company only hires experienced people." The other candidate disagreed. "No, that's not true," he said. The conversation became louder. They didn't just talk. They argued about it. They continued to argue for several minutes. Daniel quietly listened to the argument, but he didn't join it. He didn't want to argue. He wanted to stay calm. Finally, the receptionist called his name. "Daniel Carter." Daniel stood up. He remembered Emma's words. He remembered the advice. He remembered the chance to advance in his career. And suddenly, Daniel felt something else. Confidence. Because sometimes the best way to succeed is to listen to good advice, admire the people who support you, anticipate challenges, avoid arguments, and believe that one day you will advance further than you ever expected. The end.